the end of March to bring in spring, hopefully. We'll get started in just a minute, just giving a few people time to sign up for today's session. Yeah, I just came off of a 5-city APM or a BSM roadshow in the Ohio Valley, where I went to Columbus, Cleveland, Detroit, Indianapolis, and Chicago, and brought the latest updates on BSM to Vivid members in each one of these cities. So it was fun to go around, and now that I'm recovered, getting too old, but I keep doing these things.
I think when you stop, that'll be it.
Yeah. Yeah, Banana, this is my 15th year as a chapter leader in our region, so it's been fun. I enjoy bringing people together. All righty, well, let's get started, Mark. What do you think?
Okay. Yep, sounds good.
So I know we've got a few people on the line, but as people come on, they'll get engaged. So let's see if I can work my slide deck here. There we go. So for everyone that's on the call, I'm Rocky Pisto. I'm one of the BSM SIG leaders. Mark Laird is also with me, and we'll be hosting today's call and taking notes and hopefully have a lively APM session. You also see a list of some of our other chapter leaders, or SIG leaders, Jim Copio, Bill Allen, Sandy Schubert as well, that volunteer their time to bring everyone up in the BSM space up to date with what's happening in the HP world. This session is live and it's being recorded. So for those that can't make the actual call, they can go back and listen to the recording later in the week. On the side, you will see a questions panel, and again, this is a practitioner call where you ask us questions, and with the help of some of our HP folks on the line and some of the experts here, maybe we can answer them. If not, we can get back to you with the answers to your questions. So you see on the side panel here on this webinar, the window that kind of shows where you can ask questions. So we'll be looking at those and using those to start the conversation, if you will. So the APM Practitioner Forum has now been a part of the BSM SIG for the last 4 or 5 months. It's end of last year. If you're not familiar with Vivid, then this is your first time to a Vivid type event. We are the independent HP software group, which is a great home for this practitioner forum. It's all about end user customer experience. Within our group, we've got over 6,000 members around the world. Vivid has grown to 29,000 members worldwide with 76 local chapters around the world. So if you're not familiar with local chapters, it's a great place to network with your peers at a physical event, usually a customer site, where customers get together to talk to each other, learn from each other, get updates from HP and HP partners. So great experience for that. So what's the APM Practitioner Forum all about? Well, it's a great place for you to share your experience with people that are familiar with what you're doing, and hopefully give you an opportunity, if you don't have a physical local chapter in your area, to learn from each other and find the best ways to leverage tools and updates and those kind of things. The format for this event is basically we take your questions and share it with the group and see what comments come out of it, or information on answering the questions, those kind of things, and just see where it goes from there. And I see our next call is scheduled on December 9th, 2014, so I'll have to get rid of that. we've already done that. We're playing one of my old presentations. Okay, nothing exciting there. So we've got some updates. We're not really going to talk to these, at least today, but some of these may be just updates to partners. But if you overheard my conversation to Mark earlier, I just came off of a 5-city BSM update roadshow that came out of the updates from Barcelona, Discover Barcelona last year. So, there's a BSM 925 that's available. There's a new version of SiteScope with new functionality and new compatibility. There's a new service health reporter. This deck will be available on the BSM SIG site. So you have access to some of this if you're not familiar with some of these updates already, or go to the HP sites to get the latest, or go to HP support to pull down the documentation, or actually download the latest version of the product for customers that are on support. Operations analytics. It's a newer technology, if you're not familiar with it, that leverages Vertica for some analytics. So it's an interesting tool, and there's white papers on it. There's evals, I think, for all this stuff. So take advantage of looking into operations analytics. For those of you that are in the OM space, things are changing. Looks like some of the stuff is also related to OneView, which is the old, probably the newer version of what used to be Insight Manager for hardware-related environments.
So this one, on this one, Rocky, this is essentially the what were Operations Manager smart plugins are migrating to OMI management packs, and there is an evolution guide and a license migration that again is out there. It's available on the partner portals from HP. I'm not aware of how customer focused it is at the moment, but it's certainly there's a lot of there's quite a lot of knowledge around for partners. So if you are a partner and you're interested, there's a lot of stuff on the partner portal.
Yeah, and that's the same with going back here to the SiteScope. So, the term that most people using SiteScope refer to as points. It's all moving to an OS instance base. And a lot of this will happen during your contract renewal, where you will move from one thing to another. So, again, we're not going to cover this stuff here, but just be aware that there's transitioning going on from OM-related agents and spies and points, and HP's effort to try to consolidate and simplify a lot of their licensing models to help you move into the operations bridge, or OMI as it's called, and leveraging that as the new single pane of glass from everything from the BSM components to the infrastructure components to bring in that service view. And just so that you know, OMI, if you are a OM customer today under support, whether it's OMU, OM Linux, OM Windows, you will be granted a license to OMI. Another thing that's of interest is that OMI has been decoupled from BSM so that you can separate these things out, and I think part of that was so that you can make the migration from OM to OMI. OM is not going away in the short term. There's still a lot of years left with OM for customers that are using that product, but the stated direction officially now has been announced that it's moving to OMI, and leveraging all the new supported functionality, all the new development, all those kind of things are going to OMI. I think it's OMI 10.
OMI 10 is the latest release, yes.
Great. And again, I'm not sure if these are for partners, but there's going to be training available, I'm sure, for customers as well to introduce you to analytics, to OMI. Yeah, this looks, from looking at it, looks more partner training at this point. I'm sure they'll be introducing this as well to the customer base as well. Okay. Well, let's take a look. Do we have? I don't have my questions panel.
There's no questions. There's no questions at the moment, Rocky. So I was going to. Okay. I was going to start at the top of the list and ask people to introduce themselves, what they do, what they're using, and maybe what they if they've got a burning question they'd like to talk about.
Great. I don't have access to that list, so Mark, it's all you.
Okay. So Adam Jones, I'm going to unmute you, and then the floor will be yours.
Hi, can you hear me?
We can. Yes. Hi, Adam.
This is Adam Jones. I'm with Anthem Insurance. I'm in Indianapolis. Our primary use is BSM, Bpm, part of BSM, and SiteScope. We monitor several thousand applications within the company. It's been pretty successful. One of the areas that we're kind of struggling with is monitoring of Citrix. We've been requested to monitor a large number of Citrix instances in terms of verifying that the instances are available. I'm interested in finding if any other people have run into this. It's been very difficult. That's been our biggest challenge is Citrix with BSM. One other question I'd have, I'll throw out there, is if there is a roadmap available for the BPM, just what's coming down the road. They haven't seen one yet, if there's one out there.
Okay. I'll probably let Asaf have a look at the roadmapy stuff, but certainly as a partner, I haven't seen a BPM roadmap detail for a little while now. But Asaf, is there anything you can add to that?
As for the roadmap, it remains the same. We keep developing and supporting BPM based on the regular project plan. The support for Citrix specifically for BPM is coming actually from the load runner and ViewGen capabilities. One thing I do want to mention with regard to Citrix monitoring, in BSM 9.25, the latest release, we introduced a more enhanced support for the Citrix protocol monitoring using GRAM, Real User Monitor, that allow you to capture user sessions from the endpoint all the way to the backend. So I think what you might solve your problem will be to use RAM and not just BPM.
Yeah, we have some RAM, but not much, and it looks like we're not going to get funding for much more. So we're kind of the BPM is really the tool we have available to us. It doesn't seem to be ideal for it, but it's what we have available. So want to see what the best uses we can make of that tool.
Yeah, Adam, you're based out of Indianapolis?
That's correct.
Were you aware that we had a BSM update there a couple weeks ago?
I was there. If it's the one in Fishers, in first set of
That's
India,
right. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of talked about it, I think, just for, I thought Citrix did come up as having some additional functionality, but the slide deck for that whole thing is in the Chicago chapter. There's a lot of material, so I put it all under one chapter. So if you want to go to Chicago, on the website, obviously. And,
Okay.
yeah. If not, just send me a note. This is Rocky, and I'll get you the BSM update presentation.
Yeah, and really, it's more kind of wanting to compare notes with someone else and how they're going about it. If I'm the only one doing this, or other people run in the same situation.
Well, one of the things you can do is, on our BSM SIG, there's a area to leave comments to everybody in the group. So not just the ones that are on this call, but we've got 6,000 people, so put your questions there, and let's see if anything shakes out of it.
Okay, appreciate it.
We used to have something called the reflector back in the OpenView days, where you just got on the email and someone would ask a question, we would all get it worldwide, and somebody would answer it, or 3 people would answer it, and you could kind of take the good with the bad, but at least you were finding out what was happening in the underground at the end user level. So this is the closest thing we have to that.
All right, fair enough.
Thanks, Adam.
Okay. Right, Eric Buckwalter, I'm going to unmute you next.
Hi, this is Eric Buckwalter. I work for OpenText. I've been on the call a few times before. We currently have a fairly large base of tools, starting with OM, NNMI, diagnostic site scope, OO. We have that as well. We've just enabled BSM and OMI for a subset of what we're monitoring. We still have over 95% of it being monitored by OM.
So is that the new OMI 10 solution?
No, we're still on 924.
Okay.
What do you think of OMI?
We've implemented a connector to get some Zabbix connector to get some events, and also feeding it with some site scope. So we just have a small subset of events coming through and using OMI. We're still kind of getting used to it and learning it. Since we're heavily involved with OM, and a lot of things on the OM side, we have a long way before we can migrate it fully to OMI.
Where are you guys located?
OpenText's main headquarters is in Toronto. I work out of Rockville, Maryland, outside of Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Okay,
and
thank you.
Any question?
No, I didn't have anything specific today.
Okay, thanks.
Right, I'm going to unmute. I'm going to try and unmute Eric Cassiato, but I might not be able to because you need to enter your PIN first. So, Eric, until you put your PIN in, I'm going to go down to Jason Driscoll. Jason, I'm about to unmute you. Jason, the floor is yours.
Thanks. I'm Jason Driscoll. I'm the ITSM architect with John Hancock and Manulife. We have Sitescope 11.23, BAC, Bpm 8.07, UCMDB 8.07, and last time I was on the call we talked about planning on making the jump to BSM 9.25 and UCMDB 10, and that's still in the planning stages right now. So I'm just here to listen and hear what's going on in the world.
Okay. May I ask you a question, Jason? The move from Sitescope 11.20 to 11.30. We've had in fact, we were having a conversation earlier within the Vivit team of the fact that there's a license change. Have you gone through that, and was it easy?
No, have not gone through the license change yet. I just wrote, that was the first thing I wrote down on this call today, was to make note of that and to follow up on that immediately after this call, find out what the change is.
Fine, okay. I won't ask you any more details then.
We may be beating, with us announcing some of this stuff, we may be beating, your HP reps to the punch going, what are you talking about? But
yeah, no, it is there because I was having this conversation with our Sitescope technical team this morning, in fact, because they've just migrated to 11.3 or put in an 11.3 dev platform, and the license key that they've got doesn't work anymore. So yeah, I know it's changing. Just wondered if somebody'd been through it. So
no, not yet. I can say that our contract renewal is until November, so that would have been the first time we'd talking about that. And, yeah, once we do the upgrade before then, which God, I hope we do.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jason. I'm going to go back to Eric Cassiato now. So, Eric, I'm about to unmute you. It's all yours.
Hey, hello, it's Eric. Yeah, sorry about that. I had to press the pound. I was just pressing 80. So yeah, so our environment it basically is at 922 still. I've been actually kind of investigating in our lab. We were trying to connect all of these versions of BSM, UCMDB, SM, AM. We want to just kind of see how everything works together in our lab environment in order to possibly pave the way for service anywhere, and kind of see how some of that connects. I'm kind of coming in the tail end of BSM because the way we've kind of heard that a lot of this could work, right, is where you have BSM in parallel with UCMDB pulling and pushing from, Service Manager, and then Service Manager, Service Anywhere, pushing to UCMDB, and we're trying to, in AM being in there, SM Manager on the side, so we're still trying to understand all that and put that in our lab. In addition, we have an HP resource staff augmentation coming aboard in the middle of April for BSM, and I'm super excited about that. Not only to get some help, because I not only attend the meetings for building out with service owners, how, service health monitoring, a lot of the initiatives that I'm trying to drive forward, I have to do them too. So not only do I gather the information, decide how it's architected and or engineered, and then also I'm doing it. And that's a lot of work, in addition to a lot of other hats that I wear, right? So bringing this guy aboard is just going to help that streamline. So I'm really excited about that. And also, too, I'll kind of sponge off them just to kind of say, oh, well, I got this far, but I can never get this far because, I didn't have time to really research it, or I didn't have the resources to really, pull that in. So I'm really excited about that. And then in addition to that, I'd like to also find best practices, make sure we're doing the right things. A lot of automation is what I'm looking for. And this particular person that we were provided by HP seems to have all of it. So we're also looking for somebody to help on the UCMDB side. So if they understand BSM and RTSM, it should be pretty straightforward. I don't want to say straightforward, but it should be, where they should understand UCMDB also, because as we all know, RTSM is basically CMDB anyway. But we just have both. So, and ours is the consumer. When I say ours, I mean BSM, and RTSM is the consumer from UCMDB. So
which is the way they should be.
Yep.
Which is the architecture that HP sort of promote, where UCMDB is the center and Service Manager or Service Anywhere and BSM and AM consume from UCMDB. Right.
And so we got a lot of different things kind of going on right now. And in addition, I think on another call I had mentioned a little bit how, we were kind of moving forward. We're doing we did 4 actually. We're in the process of working on 3 critical services for service owners for service health monitoring. So I'm using BSM, I'm using BPMs, I'm using, we don't have RUM in place today, but that's not to say, it was probably just too daunting for us to really accomplish by ourselves. When the guy comes aboard, I'm definitely going to bounce that off him and say, hey, look, we really would like to go to that next level, and is RUM one of those ways? So in addition to that, though, what I was starting to say was, so I'm doing site scope monitoring already. We're just doing that based on, where I have a template. I apply it to different servers that are discovered by UCMDB and come into the RTSM. So we do that off of service management tickets. Basically, it's like a task that comes from a change that lets you know, hey, it's a new server or it's being decommissioned, so I have to manually go in there today and remove the monitors or add them. That's a big pain in the butt too. So I really would like to get that automated. So I have a wish list for this guy. So I told him he's got to be ready when he comes aboard, because I'm going to dump it on him, And,
got a career.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to have. He's going to have out of all the, because we're doing this now with HP. We're for Asset Manager, Service Manager, and Executive Scorecard. So now we have this BSM guy, and then we also want them to collaborate with each other too. So there's going to be a new day. Because a lot of the things we just never have time to do. we'll be able to do. So it's going to free me up to focus on more kind of information gathering, architecting, and then going back to him for the work and say, well, look, you know, then him and I can work together. So I'm really excited about that. But I could talk about this all day. I just kind of wanted to give an idea of where we're at right now and not just talk about, you know, growing with this. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm going to Discover too, so I'm hoping you guys can get some, you know, BSM-related stuff or APM or, you know, just to kind of, you know, try to learn as much as I can when I'm there about that too. So.
Well, Rocky will be there, as will quite a few of the Vivit guys. And Eric, I don't know whether you're aware, but there is a best practice portal on one of the HP websites. It's got a list of all the best practice documents, if that's of use.
I may have also. Yeah, Rocky, that was one of the things I asked you about when I was at the roadshow too. But I don't know. You got so many things you're working on. I understand. I wanted something like that. So if there's a portal or somewhere, I would love that URL.
Okay.
Well,
I'll dig it out for you.
We have a presentation that lists where all the best practice documents are. And,
okay. Was that in your Chicago presentation, as you put it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, cool. I got that link, so I will check that out a little bit further. I haven't had time because of everything I just told you. In addition, I'm on another team and doing some work for Citrix and engineering-related stuff, so there's a lot going on. But I need to get on point and get caught up with everything that I have, and bringing that guy aboard is going to allow me to do that. So.
Yeah. Well, Eric, a couple of things. Just to let you know that there is an OMI to Service Anywhere integration, and it's in the HPL and the Live network for CLIP. So there is some integration information there. And number two, at HP Discover, we've got these things called deep dive sessions, which we'll start marketing probably mid-April. And we have 10 deep dive sessions scheduled. The bulk of them are around ALM because of you know, those teams wanting to sponsor these events. They have a lot of material, but I currently have J9 is one of the HP partners is doing a deep dive in the BSM space. So
oh, really?
we haven't got the content yet of what's going to be discussed, but these events are held on Monday afternoon, just before Discover starts on Tuesday, and it's designed to kind of give you, a deep dive into an area that's relevant to you about whether it's upgrades or here's what's happening, the customer experience, the whole bit, and kind of kick off your HP Discover experience in your particular space. I know I currently have six ALM events, 6 or 7, one BSM, one SPM. So
sign me up. Get me in, or give me the link to sign. I'm ready.
Yeah, when you do your HP registration, again, it's going to pop up. There'll be an advertisement going out when these things are official for people to register. So,
okay, because I just registered last night.
Yep, it wasn't there yet. So when they come out, you'll get an update, especially being someone who's already registered, that, by the way, here's some other sessions that have popped up for you to schedule. So.
Yeah, I was actually looking around because this is my first time attending, actually. Some of my team have went like 3 or 4 times, but for me it's my first. So I was just looking around trying to find information like that. So thank you for that update.
It's not all there yet. HP's a little behind the 8 ball this year on the registration of the activity. So everything's being formalized as we speak.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Right. Next on the list is Francois Zamarfo. Francois, I'm unmuting your line. Bonjour, ça va?
Bonjour.
Oui, ça va? Tu m'entends?
Hello, Francois.
Vous m'entendez?
Yes, yes, but everybody else is in the US, so they will not understand. So.
Maybe we can get a lesson in French.
Francois and I were both on the OMI course last week, so.
Yes, I have a question about about API rules, because I've done. Do you understand me?
Yes. Yes. It'll be Asaf that
Hello?
I suspect that will need to answer your.
Okay.
You answer it. So yes.
Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes. So I have an issue with an API rule because I've created a view, and I wanted to make a calculation of KPI. So first I used the summarized values, but it wasn't it wasn't what I expected in the results. It wasn't the result I expected. So I decided to customize the API groups inside Beam rule. But it works fine. But I get some error message, and the error messages is about generating the rules. The rule is about the rule generation, the groovy rule generation. So I don't know if Asaf has already found this kind of error in when he did his groovy scripts, his rules groovy scripts.
Yeah, I did a couple of rules in my life. It means your syntax is not correct, and in the log you will see exactly which line in your script is not correct syntax.
But I don't understand why it does the calculation. It does the calculation, and I have just this message failed to get generated groovy rule due to exception caused by Java lang null pointer exception. So, but my rule does the calculation.
No, it
Sorry?
means the syntax. It means that the syntax is correct, and when the script is actually being executed, then it's failing on some null object that you are trying to invoke a method on a null object. You can send your script directly to me, or you can post it in the APM Practitioner forum in the HP site, and I'm monitoring that forum as well. So you can either way send the script and the logs, and maybe it will give more help. Identify where the problem is.
Yes, yes. In HPLN, yes, yes.
Yeah, HPLN also works.
Okay.
You can also post in HP Live Network, and I'm monitoring that forum as well.
Yeah. Okay, I will post in HP Live Network because I don't have my computer, my work computer right there, so I can't send you the log now. I will post my question in HPLN tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Francois. So, Michael Procopio, I'm going to unmute you. Michael, is that you? Okay, I'm not getting anything from Michael,
it's
so I will.
early in California where he's from.
I'll mute him again. Rolf Freidenberg, it's your turn.
Hey, Ralph.
Hi, this is Rolf Freidenberg from Manage in Norway. We're an HP software partner, and I've been in the OpenView and later the Vivid area since 93 or 94, I think. So, but at the moment there's nothing special going on in Norway to report about.
Okay.
So what does your partner do there, Ralph? What's their focus?
Our focus is well, anything except security and application lifecycle management. So it's both in the BSM area, automation, and service management.
Okay.
We cover quite a lot.
I suspect competing with us, but
there you go.
Please. Not all that much on the license sales side, but more on the consulting implementation.
But we're both professionals, so it's a nice place to work. So we have another one last person on the forum, Wasim. I'm going to unmute your line. Would you like to introduce yourself, who you're from, what you do, and whether you've got any questions?
Yeah, do you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. It's my first time to join you. Actually, it's my first time. I'm actually working on BSM with Sitescope, most Sitescope and NMI.
Okay.
But I don't know. Since it's my first time, I'm just trying to hear some ideas, and after that maybe I will come with questions next time.
So are you an HP partner or an HP customer?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
An HP partner from Tunisia.
Okay. So we have a good spread this call.
Where's he from?
Tunisia.
Tunisia.
Okay, great. Okay.
So we're covering at least 4 countries, if not 5. 5 countries at least. Yes. Okay.
That's great.
So there's no other questions in the forum at the moment, Rocky. I don't know whether anybody's got any more questions that they want to ask, whether we want to open it up for a general discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just make a couple of announcements, and if there's any more conversation, that would be great. Again, that's why we're here. We dedicate 1 hour a month to hearing any concerns or any issues you may be having specifically, and provide you with any quick updates that we're hearing out in the field. So if you're in the Americas, again, it's always recommended that you attend the cutting grass here, springtime I had. Okay. HP Discover is coming along here the 1st of June. And it's a great place to network and to learn about products. And so if it can be part of your schedule or plan to these things, that'd be great. For those of you in the EMEA area, plan for London in December. That's where it'll be this year. So again, if this is your career, make the most of it and try to get to these networking events to learn as much as you can and meet the right people that have the actual content that can help you. So that's my plug for HP Discover. And again, if you're, depending on where you are locally, we have 76 local chapters, and that doesn't mean we may have 76 chapters focused in BSM, but there's a lot of chapters around the world where they get together to network physically in your country. And if there's interest on your part to become a leader and focus on bringing your focus into the region. So if you're a partner, it's kind of an ideal way to find out what's going on in the community that you're from, and bringing customers together, bringing HP together. It's a great way to network, to grow your network, work closely with the HP folks to help bring content. Vivid has a great relationship with the EMEA field team from Wolfgang Puck, not Puck, but Wolfgang, I can't remember his last name, Ralph. And his whole team, he's got EMEA and Asia Pac. So he's always there to encourage his field teams and marketing teams to work with Vivid to bring customers together to help network and learn from each other. So if you're looking at getting more involved in your community, just reach out to Vivid. We can help make that happen. And actually, Anne-Marie is on the call, I think, as well. and she runs the EMEA and Asia Pac and Americas right now, leader in SIG program.
Yes.
So that's my point there. And Anne-Marie's from, you bet, Anne-Marie's from the Netherlands, so she's more local to the EMEA folks.
Yes.
So Mark, do we have, if there's no other questions?
There's no other questions in the forum. Nobody's got their hand up and desperately wants to say anything. So,
okay.
For partners, certainly for the EMEA partners, there's a partner university coming up start of May, which I believe notices are just about to go out for, and there is a customer forum at the start of June, which again notices are starting to be published. The partner universities in Budapest and the customer forums in Prague. You know, if any of you are there, you know, it'd be great to meet up with people. Certainly, there will be somebody there from my company. Even if it's not me, probably be me, but there'll be others there. Come and say hi.
Okay, Mark, thank you. Thanks everyone for being on the call today. Again, if you have questions and they didn't get presented today, put it on the BSM SIG community area and see what feedback you get from it, and we'll go from there. Until next month, have a great day.
Okay, thank you everybody.
We are done. See you, Mark.
Thanks.
Bye,
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
Anne-Marie.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Asaf.